All right, YouTube, it is Mr. Mean coming at you this fine Friday afternoon. I hope everyone is doing well. It's been a minute since we've made a video, and I want to apologize to all the meanies out there and all the fans and the followers. I'm sorry, it's been a very hectic July and end of June. Um, just a lot of personal stuff going on and had to take care of it. So I hope everyone is doing well, but we are back in the groove. We're going to talk about some stuff, but first, things that are coming up. I just got it in the mail, the Fantasy Companion. So if you're not a Pathfinder fan, Savage Worlds recently did the Pathfinder conversion to Savage Worlds. Excellent books. But if you're not a fan of the Pathfinder universe and the game, and you want to play your own, fantasy, dark fantasy, hard medieval, whatever, this is the book you need. It came with a bunch of cards and stuff. We're going to do a review of it here real soon. So, but I just wanted to let everybody know that I had that. Ignore the big pile of stuff here. I'm getting ready to sell that stuff to Noble Knight Games. So, yeah, so there is that. Then the other thing I'm doing is I've been reading and enjoying Fabula Ultima, tabletop Japanese role playing game. Um, this is pretty cool. I'm enjoying it very much. I actually want to get this to the table, but a full review coming of this real soon too. I just want to make everybody aware. But what we're here to talk about today is something that is really, I don't know, it's taken me by storm. A lot of the meanings really like it. Um, I, I I don't know. It's just super awesome, cool, and that is Heroes and Hardships, the core rule book. This is successfully funded on Kickstarter. This is the physical book. I was able to get in on like a late pledge off of their website, if I remember correctly. Sorry, my leg itches. I'm sorry. Um, and it's really cool. If you're a D10 dice pool fan, a roll and keep. And the best example of a roll and keep system that I can think of is Legends of the Five Rings, the earlier editions, like versions 1, 2, and 3. The current version that is put out by Edge Studios is a roll and keep, but it has proprietary dice. The books are beautiful. It's just not my jam. I tried reading it. I was going to run a mini campaign. I was going to run the intro adventure that's in the back of the book, and I just couldn't get into it. It just was not. Sorry, I got a straight hair there. It's driving me nuts. It was driving me nuts, and I did not enjoy it at all. It's just the proprietary dice don't necessarily annoy me, but they went away from D10s and they went to D12s and D6s, and it just doesn't jive for me. It's not my cup of tea. So I'll stick with my L5R second edition. It's the version that I like the best. And I ran a short little 2 or 3 session game for Brian and some of the meanies, and we enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun. So, Maho Suki or Sukai, which is basically a necromancer, for lack of a better word. It was a really fun adventure. But Earl of Fife games. I don't have my readers on. Let me put my readers on because this one we're going to get into. Um, yeah, Earl of Fife games was printed in Lithuania, which I think is kind of cool. Jason Duff, who is on my Discord, so shameless plug for my Discord. It's a very active Discord. Um, we have a lot of game designers on there, game developers, artists. So if you want to get in on there and talk with people that are in the industry, it's a great place to do it. We have a publisher's corner where people that are seeking to publish their own game or need help with like Photoshop or InDesign or whatever. There's a lot of people on there that use it and have learned it, have taught themselves, and you can benefit from their knowledge. So the um, the Discord channel is quite popular. I am on there almost daily. I have it on my phone while I'm at work. I work outside, as you can tell by this lovely suntan that I've got going on here. I work outside a lot, so um, I always have access to my phone wherever I'm at. So I'm pretty active on there. I try to be, and we encourage thoughtful communication about game design, gameplay, whatever your game of choice is, D&D, 5e, Pathfinder, Heroes and Hardships. We play games on the server, the Discord server. Currently, we have games going Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, I think. And then your people are welcome to join the server and run their own games and use the Discord. I just created a channel for geez, I don't even remember what channel it is. It's one of my members is called Batman and Stephen O. And I created a channel for them. Let me see what I call it because I don't even remember what I called it. If I can get my shite together here. Uh Covert Ops Second Edition. Oops, I want to go in there. I don't believe it's Covert Ops, so I think it's a different game. I can't remember. But we do a lot of stuff on there. We talk a lot about miniature games, board games, tabletop RPGs. I have an interest in all of those. I just picked up Zombicide Black Plague a couple of weeks ago when I went to the cities. So yeah, we support a lot, anything that has to do with gaming, even a little bit of computer gaming. We have channels, so drop on by. There's a link down in the doobly doo. Universal RPG system, Heroes and Hardships. Um, I will tell you that it does fantasy very well. We're about to find out how well it does sci-fi. My good friend, and dare I say, almost like a brother to me, and very much like a brother to me, Brian, is going to run a sci-fi version. We played a throwback from the past, which was Alternity, and we really enjoyed it, but we wanted to see how it would work in Heroes and Hardships. And Jason is on the Discord server, and he was able to lend a hand with like character creation and everything. So super awesome that the developer and the designer of the game is active on the Discord, so we could reach out and ask questions. I know I used his services. Um, it comes with a ribbon, guys. How many pages are we sitting at here? And the art, by the way, inside is phenomenal. Really, if I could get it straight here, really good art. I'm very pleasantly surprised. Um, let's see. There's a nice forward in here uh, by Jared Williams. That name rings a bell, but for the life of me, I can't remember where he's from, or where I know him from, I should say. Uh, there's a index. We are looking at, man, I just can't get it together. You see, you take a month off and you get all discombobulated. It's got to be more than 112. Yeah, let's just do it the hard way. 247 pages, including a very comprehensive index. Table of contents laid out really well. The art is fantastic. The art flips from all genres, from horror to sci-fi to superheroes to pulp. There's a nice superhero picture on the back. I want to run a superheroes game in this. Um, Character creation is really unique. I've made two characters so far. I've made my fantasy, I made a dwarven monk, and let me tell you, he hit like a freight train. And I realized that after making my sci-fi character, that I actually cheated myself out of some points. So I would have even been even more effective if I would have paid a little closer attention. But new game system, new design system, learning the ropes. I made a mistake, but now I kind of feel that I have a pretty good grasp on character creation, especially after talking to Jason. But it's a roll and keep system. So what does that mean? So you'll have your attributes. I don't have a character sheet in front of me. Um, you'll have your attributes and everything, and you'll want to do something. The GM will set a difficulty. You'll pick up a handful of dice equal to the attribute and the skill, plus or minus any modifiers, and then you will roll, and you will keep a number of dice equal to your attribute. It is phenomenal. There is a level cap based on the power level. There's three power levels: power level 1, 2, and 3. So you build within there. There's a random method. There's also a pretty much like a point buy system where you have X amount of points and you assign attributes. Your attributes can only be so high based on the power level. So like power level 1, I think is 4. You can never have an attribute above 4. And then it goes on from there. So there's abilities and traits. There's flaws. The cool thing about the flaw system in here is that the GM assigns the flaw. So you want to have a session zero. You want to talk with the other players. You want to get a good concept and idea of what everybody's going to play and kind of the setting and what tropes that the GM wants to allow or disallow. Um, to me, and playing this what 2, 3 times now, I really get the feeling this game lends itself to role playing very well. There's some games where, like, to me, D&D doesn't lend itself to role playing very well. It can, obviously, we see that with Critical Role and a bunch of other uh, uh, you know shows that are being produced via YouTube and stuff like that. And of course it can. I've run some very immersive D&D games myself in the past, but I don't feel that straight out of the box for a new GM. It lends itself to role playing very well. But that being said, I think Heroes and Hardships does, because of the way character creation works. You want to really make characters with your other players and get a feel for what everybody's doing. And what's cool about that is the GM can be actively involved, and then the GM can get an idea of what kind of flaws are going to be present for your character and what flaws would make sense for your character. It's one thing to look at a character sheet and go, da, 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 okay, this guy's angry all the time, so we're going to give him Berserker, or whatever. But sitting there listening to the players make characters and seeing their motivation, their design, their background, their wants and their needs, the GM could be a little more thoughtful. And maybe it's not Berserker, maybe it's lonely. Maybe he comes off gruff and angry all the time, but he's lonely, and so that's his flaws. When he's alone, he's self-deprecating, whatever. There's a million and one things we can, without psychoanalyzing the game, we can get into some crazy stuff here and have a lot of fun with it. um there's a dice pool cap, so you can only roll X amount of dice based on your power level and stuff like that. And I don't remember what it is for power level. I haven't GM'd the game yet, so I'm a little lacking on the GM side of it. But from a player standpoint, I can tell you this is really fun. I think this is a great game. It's put together really well. Um, some critiques, you always got to take the good with the bad. Jason, I think you're a super awesome guy. The character sheet is fine. It's very black and white. I would have loved to have seen, and maybe on the PDF that downloads, it can be updated. Maybe a logo, can't think of it. Not a footnote, a watermark. Something. The character sheet's just a little plain. Doesn't really give us a flavor. For a lot of people, the character sheet is your first. I was wondering why my light was looking weird. Your character sheet is your first doorway to the game. If you don't own the book and the GM or a fellow player hands you a character sheet, that tells you a lot about the game when you get it. And unfortunately, looking at this, I know absolutely nothing about this game. If I was coming from the outside looking in, I see a lot of text boxes and and that's not saying it's a bad thing. It's really not. It's different, and so you need to be aware. I would love to see some watermarks, maybe some watermarks with um, different genres, like a knight or a thief for a fantasy game, a robot or a spaceship or something for the sci-fi version, a superhero. Maybe that young lady, has a watermark on the back, and maybe one of the meanies out there who has the game can do that or something like that. That would be super cool. Character creation. I don't want to say it's muddled. I'm a grognard. I've made a lot of characters for a lot of games. It You have to, in my mind, and this could be me, your mileage may vary. I had to read the examples two or three times to kind of get where they were going. There's a weird point system when you get your attributes. You add up those attributes, and that gives you how many skills you can get for that attribute: physical, mental, or social. And then on top of that, those three cores are broken down into four subcategories. It's very cool, and I like it a lot. It's not a negative critique, but a clearer example of how to make characters, I think, would be really good. I had to read and reread the character creation example several times. And like I said, the first character I made, my dwarven monk, I cheated myself out of some points because you get skill points and then you get ability points, which are factored off of how many skills you take and how they work. And I kind of missed that section. Now, some would say that's my fault, and that's fine. But I think a little bit clearer, and I hate to say this because it is kind of my fault. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go down the line of how to make a character, and I kind of glossed over that. So maybe if I wouldn't have glossed over that, maybe I would have. It's a minor niggle, so to speak. But all in all, the game is really laid out well. It's uh, it's very, I don't know. I really um, like Savage Worlds. You have a fantasy companion book, and then you have a supers companion book, and then you have a sci-fi companion book. You don't really need that with this, which is what's nice because Savage Worlds kind of hinted at it years ago, and they went away from that. And I think went away from it to sell more books, which is totally viable, and I get it. But if all you have is this book, you can play pretty much any genre you want. You're going to be able to make like we did a high fantasy game, and I made a crazy ass monk, dwarven monk, and I felt like my dwarven monk was very capable and fit the theme of the game that we were playing, and it worked out really well. I really liked him a lot. I felt the other guy's character, Cosmic's character, was very much. I got exactly what he was going for. So it's laid out really well. The equipment section. Oh, you could do wrestling if you wanted to do wrestling. There's wrestling's kind of making a reemergent. What a great sci-fi piece of art right there. I mean, that is a cool setting. You wanted to do Warhammer 40K now, of course. Cubicle 7 has just released Warhammer 40,000 RPG. Imperialis Maledictum, I think, or Imperium Maledictum, or Maledictum Imperium. I can't remember. It's available as a PDF, but the physical book's coming out pretty soon. You want to do pirates? Look, there's a peg leg pirate. I mean, you can really make whatever you want. You want to do rock stars, and Shadowrun type game with a face or whatever. You want to do Vikings? You can do Vikings. I mean, the options are unlimited, so to speak. It reminds me of an updated and better laid out GURPS, generic universal role playing system, GURPS. And I love GURPS. I'm a big fan of GURPS, and I think this is just tops it a little bit better. GURPS hasn't had a revision in many, many years, and GURPS is a great game. I have nothing against GURPS. I love it dearly, but I think as far as ease of character creation and working with NPCs and minions and monsters and stat blocks, I think this beats it. And that's high for me. For my mind, that's high praise because that's how easy this game is. It's really well done. So I hope that sells you on it a little bit. If you have any questions or comments, as always, put them in the doobly doo down below. It really helps the YouTube algorithm when you guys comment on videos. For whatever reason, YouTube wants to see interaction between the viewer and the host. So if you can put a comment in there, did you pick it up? Do you own it? Do you enjoy it? Is it not your cup of tea? Let me know down in the comments below. Is there an RPG out there that you want to see coming up that you'd like me to cover? Let me know. I would love to maybe get a copy or reach out to a publisher or put a publisher in touch with me. Mr.Mean speaks with an S at gmail.com. Have them email me, and they can send me a PDF or a physical copy of their book. I'll be more than happy to review it online and look at it. I'm super impressed with this. Jason has been amazingly polite and convenient. And I think he spends more time on my Discord than he does his own, which is just a testament to the awesome community that we have on our Discord. So if you live in an area like I do that isn't real big on in-person gaming because it's a smaller town, Discord's my only option to get my gaming fix right now. I don't have a Friday night group. We can't. I've got two players and we just can't seem to get together. So it's just the way life is, right? So we make the best with what we can do. Um, so yeah, drop by the server, support me on Patreon if you can. Drive through RPG. I have an affiliate code if you want to support the channel that way. If Patreon's not your thing, go buy a copy of this on Drive Through RPG and use my affiliate link. It's down in the doobly doo, and I make a small commission off of what you buy. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and hey, it's pretty cool. So I don't know what else to say about this except go buy the damn book. It's pretty awesome. I think you'll enjoy it. He's got a number of PDFs on Drive Through RPG. He's got a sci-fi setting. He's got some adventures that are on there as well. So it's pretty well supported, and he's working on, I believe, his next Kickstarter. I would like to get Jason on the channel and do an interview with him. So Jason, if you watch this and you're you're free one night, let's get together and chat, because I would love to pick your brain about this, especially going through the Kickstarter process. I love to talk to independent publishers. From Feral Games and I have had many conversations about Kickstarter and everything. So would love to get you to do it as well. Again, guys, I can't say enough good stuff about Heroes and Hardships from uh, uh, Earl of Fife Games, I believe it is. Yeah, Earl of Fife Games. Super awesome. Check it out. Join the Discord. Help support me on Patreon. Use Drive Through RPG affiliate link. If you're a miniatures guy and you haven't checked out Conquest Last Argument of Kings or First Blood, it's kind of the same game. Use the same miniatures, just a different rule set. First Blood is skirmish. Last Argument of Kings is mass battle. I have an affiliate code, Mr.Mean Speaks. Use that code for 10% off, and gives me a little commission as well. And again, it doesn't cost you, actually, it saves you money. So if you haven't checked out any of the Last Argument of Kings, check out my library there, and you'll see I've done a couple of videos on it. And I actually had today off, so I put a couple miniatures together today. So anyway, as always, guys, peace, love, and hair grease. Remember, treat each other with love and respect. Be nice, pay it forward, help people out as much as you can. And as always, be nice. Thanks, guys.